Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the first man ever to swim across the Atlantic, Ben Hooper! Welcome to the Daffodil.
Thank you.
I feel like we should be singing a song, shouldn't we?
You hum it, I'll sing it.
Okay, well, so tell us exactly what you are going to be doing in November this year.
Yeah, November this year, about 193 days to go, not that I'm counting. I'm going to swim 2,000 miles-ish, give or take a couple of hundred, from Africa to Brazil.
I mean, not that it's relevant, but whereabouts in Brazil will you be landing?
Hopefully on the sand, in Natal. So if you imagine the head of Africa, I'm swimming out the nose, dropping down, chucking a left across the equator, and landing in the ear of Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're going to be swimming in the South Atlantic over our winter. What's the temperature in the sea like then?
It's going to be around 22 when I get going and rise to the mid-30s by the time I arrive in Brazil, and the air temperature is going to bake me very nicely at about 25, 35. Yeah.
Not too bad. But how is it going to work logistically? I'm guessing you've got all this planned.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logistically, we're looking at two. That's me. Sorry. Yeah.
That is extraordinary. And how many days a week will you swim?
At the moment, we're looking at doing 6 at least, if not the 7th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what else are you going to do on the 7th day? I mean,
kick back, watch a few sharks go by.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Breaking Bad's good, I gather.
I hear. Yeah.
So that is extraordinary. And what's your support like?
I've got a support vessel with me that I'll sleep on at night.
There.
Oh my God, this is like conditioning all over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a support boat and a physiotherapist.
Okay, the physio's going to be nice.
Oh, she's nice. It's good.
No, I mean just the having that is going to be important.
It will, yes. Encounter. Yeah.
How do they do it?
Well, first line of defense is electronic, safe to the sharks, not good for me, as I found out in Florida recently. It's quite shocking. The second line of defense...
It's like an underwater taser, is it?
It is, in essence. It's a very long tail off the back of the kayak or the boat.
I think I read somewhere that water conducts electricity.
It's funny, I said the same thing,
Yeah.
especially after it got me. The second line of defense is rotting shark cartilage.
Which we all carry with us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you can't help but have some in your handbag, can you?
Yeah.
You know? And it's a very stinky chemical, so it'll make me throw up, excuse me. And it doesn't smell good, you know, but it scares the crap out of the sharks. And the last line of defense is the dive team jump in with a B&Q PVC pole and poke them.
Wow. How are you feeling in terms of preparation? Are you scared a bit, or is it something you feel amply prepared for?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose training 50 hours a week, consuming 8,000 calories a day, as I am at the moment. So great food, Daffodil, thank you. That was dessert. I'm nearly as prepared as I can be. You know, my swimming distances are 25k a day, give or take a few K. Yeah.
25k you're swimming at the moment?
Yeah, there are days where I do double sessions and it's 36, 30k, yeah.
Okay, and does that leave enough time in the day to pile in 7,000 calories? That's a lot of calories, isn't it?
It is.
What does that look like on a plate?
Okay, so I'll give you an example, breakfast, okay? Yeah. It's about 1,300 calories for breakfast. 2 bowls of porridge, milk and sugar, 4 slices of toast with peanut butter, 1 breast of chicken, 3 scrambled eggs, 1 banana, orange juice, coffee and a litre of water.
Apart from the breast of chicken, that was...
It's piling on if I have a day off, I tell you.
So when did the training start?
I got stuck into this probably 2 years ago. I reached a point where I thought, I've got to do this or some other crazy bastard will.
And has your appearance changed since then, or were you always this magnificent, fine figure of a man?
Sadly, the sponsorship's not good enough for plastic surgery, but the rest of me has changed.
Have you bulked up a lot?
I've gone out, I've gone in, not come out, but I've gone in and out, triangular, fat, thin. It changes a lot because obviously my training increased and now I just can't keep the weight on. and I need to.
And you have to. You absolutely have to. That's a great problem to have, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, along with sharks and jellyfish and cargo containers.
And then what do you do at the other end of it in order to come down? I mean, do you just have to reduce your exercise daily? I don't know.
In terms of in the approach to the swim?
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of your metabolism generally. What you're undertaking is something no human has ever done before.
Dum, dum, dum. Yeah, do you know what? I've not really stopped to think about that, but there's a lot of mental preparation going on, and I've got a psychologist working with me, and he's up against it big time, because he already thought I was mad doing this. But I don't honestly know. We'll taper off the training, in time for the big swim itself, but afterwards, we don't even know what state I'm going to get out in, And in case any of you Google it, there was a French guy in '98 who tried to claim it, but it's very controversial, and he stopped in the Azores for a week. So
he's French.
He's French. I'm glad you said that, because that's what I think every day.
And then when you come back, because I'm just thinking, if you slim down, the Andy Coulson lookalike work is going to be just flooding it, isn't it?
I can't believe you just stole my agent's idea. Thanks for that.
Oh, Lordy. So you're going to be swimming, so you're not going to see land for 3 months. Is this what we're...
between 3 and 4 months. No
Christmas,
land.
are you going to have some I don't know, some wizard on CD or something? Just
I hope so.
To conjure up the festive spirit.
Yeah, I think so. Why not? And we're all going to get fancy dressed up, maybe a few sharks and things, just have a party.
Yeah, that sounds fun. And what is your plan for when you land in Rio? I mean, obviously you're probably going to kip for the first couple of hours, but then, I mean, what's in store?
Well, in the traditional British sense, not having drunk for 2 years in order to do this properly, I'm probably going to get lashed.
Yeah.
On a serious note, I will be emailing all my charities to say I've done it, and kissing the sand and saying, thank Christ I made it in one piece. But I really don't know what'll happen. There's going to be a party. But in all seriousness, we don't know what I'm going to be like when we get out the other side.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that is something you have to weigh up. And how will you get through the actual day? I mean, that's 12 hours of swimming a day.
Yeah.
Will one of the support boats have music playing or something?
Yeah, I actually train with music in my ears, so if any of you are in the pool, I apologise in advance. I'm not ignoring you, or probably am, but I'm listening to music, and that's one of the biggest things.
You know what you should be listening to?
Go on.
Swimming with Alice.
Where are they? Okay, if you could pull an album together by November, okay? I'll take it with me.
Swimming with Alice.
I'd love to. Whoever Alice is.
Absolutely fantastic.
That'd be great.
Fantastic. So talk me through your training regime. Where have you been going? What have you been doing? Okay,
so training-wise, obviously I'm here in the UK in Cheltenham, and Leisure Out are supporting me, which is fantastic. So I don't have to worry about breaststrokers over 50s and choking on lavender, which is nice. However, when I'm not training here, I go and play with the sharks, the jellyfish, and my safety team in Key West in Florida, which is only, thanks to donations and sponsorship. So, anyone here who's supporting me, thank you. But that's where the training gets real, because I'm out in the ocean. There is no turning around. There is no putting your feet on the bottom and having a breather. You feed in the water. The weather changes on a, sixpence. It's real. And that's the key thing.
That's a key consideration, actually. You simply can't put your foot down. In fact, the distance between your foot and the bottom, do you know what's the deepest that's going to be?
I think the deepest is something like 48,000 feet at one point.
Okay. I mean, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge will be running beneath you at some point.
Yes, and as we approach Natal, there's a wonderful trench where the sharks like to breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously I won't be wearing my shark fin that day, but it will make it interesting.
Yeah, I tell you, just a bit of fetid, rotting shark in your
That's what I was thinking.
Carry
a bit of tuna with me.
Mightn't be a bad idea. I was hearing a story about you perhaps exposing more than you might have wished.
Go on.
Have you not heard this story?
I have not.
Oh, I'd heard that. Really?
Carry on.
Maybe this is just. Maybe it was another Ben Hooper. I don't know, but I'd heard that you'd been doing some naked training.
A little skinny dipping helps, doesn't it? Yes. Cold water acclimatization. Yes, but not locally.
And yeah, no, I heard this lovely story about you being surprised by
down at Lake 32, which is in South Surney, just down the road from here. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I was preparing for a 12K swim at about 25 yards behind me with a dog. And the dog was slathering, and she looked shocked. You know, shrinkage, it's cold. Not as shocked as I was when I looked down too, but
in Key West as well.
Oh yes, I've been invited to take part in the what do you call it? The Gay Pride Festival. I a nice butt in my trunks, as I've been told, and I now have a 2,000-3,000 gay following in Key West. So if ever, yeah, thank you. Always a good day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very, very well done indeed. Well, I mean, what we're going to do is throw the floor open to questions. See, and people can ask.
No
questions.
journos.
Yes.
Hello. Will you be rubbing on some juice up?
Good question.
Is that a professional or personal question? I've got to ask. Both. Okay. Personally, yes, and professionally, yes. I use Vaseline and KY jelly, and I also put it under my arms, you know, to stop chaffing, because once you get open wounds, the salt water won't let it heal, and I'll get infected, and that just adds to the risks, along with pneumonia and getting arms chewed off and cargo containers in the face and things. So, yeah, I do use lubricant. It's good.
That's a very good point, actually. Pollution at sea. I mean,
because it's not big and it's not clever, but there is a lot of plastic out there, a lot of waste, and we're doing environmental research as we go, looking at microplastics. So yeah, there's some good stuff going on. Yeah.
Very good. Any other questions? Yes.
No, thankfully I don't get seasick unless I'm actually swimming and eating and in sort of 10, 15 foot, you know, swells. I mean, if you think about it, some of the swells will be as high as this ceiling, and I'll be balanced like a dolly on top, which is quite cool, but it's not cool if you've just drunk a peanut, chocolate butter, milk and whey protein shake. So that may make me sick, but otherwise, no, I'm good. Thank you for inquiring.
What are you told to do about that? I mean, if you're sailing, you're told to look at the horizon, aren't you? Same thing. I mean,
yeah. In all seriousness, seasickness isn't a problem for me. However, what might be is vertigo, because I'm staring at a blue wall. If you imagine looking at a blue wall for 2 6-hour sessions a day, that's what I'm going to be doing. So if I don't fall out of my tree completely, vertigo is a big risk, and disorientation. Yeah.
And I mean, at some point that you're at sea, there are going to be squalls, there are going to be storms, there are going to be big waves. I mean, do you decide not to swim in big seas?
It will probably be a case of the skipper and my safety team dragging me out or stopping me, because for me, I want to swim every single day and get this done and done right. But you have to be sensible too. I've got a 6-year-old I need to get back to and show that you can do anything, you know. And if the weather doesn't suit, I don't swim. But by the time I get to Brazil, every mile must have been swum. Otherwise, I've not achieved what I set out to. Yeah.
Very good. 2,000 miles all the way. Yes, Donald.
It's not, is the answer, so therefore we won't. We will reduce the drift of the boat using sea certain things, but we'd need a QE2 full of diesel to get across, or a lot more electric batteries for the electrical engine we're using. That's how we'll do it. Yep.
Yes.
You're not on your own. That's a really good question, actually. Without getting emotional, a lot goes through my brain now. If I'm swimming for 6-7 hours, the music only does so much, and you zone out completely. And I drowned when I was 5.5 in Belgium, and I was very lucky to survive birth, collapsed lungs and the likes. So there's a lot of things that come back from the past, little fears that start to eke their way in. but somehow, you know, you get past those. I've had ex-girlfriends pop up in the pool next to me, and not in a good way. You know, all sorts of memories, and it's very peculiar, you know. And other endurance swimmers have.
Yes.
Yeah, again, going back to after the drowning when I was a kid, it sort of had the opposite effect. So I love the sea. I've done free diving, bit of scuba diving, always done a few swims, 10Ks, bit of charity swimming. And I've been sat on this idea for some years. You know, I've always enjoyed endurance sports. And I got to a point in life where things were happening, and I thought, you know what, sod it, life's short. I need to do something to push myself. And if I can do something to push myself and help other people at the same time, hence the charities, then why the hell not? And I did a bit of research, got a bit excited when I realised nobody had done it in the history. A man swam every single mile of an ocean, and here we are 2 years later. Yeah. Thank you.
So will Guinness...
is my local charity. The national charity is Action, which is a mental health and drug rehab charity. And my big charity is SOS Children's Villages. And obviously we're conducting research on human endurance, funny enough, immunology, and the environmental marine stuff as well. So a lot going on.
Well done to you, Ben. That is
you.
absolutely fantastic. We've got time for one more question. Yes.
What are you going to do for kicks when you've done this?
I'm going to come and work with you. And I'm going to ask celebrities questions. I don't know. I mean, Benoit Lecomte, the French guy who tried to claim the Atlantic originally, he's about to set off, apparently, across the Pacific. So if he doesn't get that right, then we've got Tokyo to California to think about. Other than that, I don't know. I might just go for a cool down in the Channel or something.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Ben Hooper for sharing all that with us. And we wish him the very, very best of luck. Well, we now have pudding, and then I'll be coming up to chat with Jamie McDonald. But I'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks so much.